it's your girl Lizzie Yayo, and I am here keeping it a bando with 416 in the City and The Hype magazine. And on today we have an exclusive interview with the fourth-time winner, Mr. Mayor Colvin.
How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
Good.
How does it feel to have been reelected?
Well, it's always a humbling experience to thank the people of the city who have enough confidence in you every 2 years to say that they still believe in what you're about your vision, your leadership. So thankful to the people of the city who came out and voted for me.
What inspired you to run for re-election?
Well, when I started this journey a few years back to get involved in public service, it was about bringing change to a community that I cared about, that I grew up in, which is the Murchison Road area. I represented that area for 4 years before running for mayor. Ran for mayor in 2017, and again, as you said, it's my fourth term, and started out with a vision that I believe not only improves that area, but the city as a whole, just to make things more equal and fair, to make sure that we create a pathway for people to be successful, to start businesses. We were named the highest, most African American businesses in the country, right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which says a lot. And not only for African Americans, but for women and other businesses. I want to create a path. I want to make a city that my children will want to return to and continue the trend and the progress. So I decided and said that the mission wasn't complete, and I prayed about it and ran for mayor, and thank God I was successful.
Awesome. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Now, is there any key accomplishments that you're proud of?
Yeah, we've done a lot, not only the aesthetics of the city to try to make it look like a better place, where we've invested in downtown baseball stadium. I've played a pivotal role in that, creating investment in the communities, underserved communities, Murchison Road and Old Wilmington Road, and some of the other core parts of the city. But also, most proud about changing a process where 40% of the city's money that it spends each month, we spend about $260 million a year. So we want to keep 40% of that local and minority based, and just creating a pathway for people to be successful and to live out their dreams. So that's something I'm proud of. We're working with Fayetteville State University to create a business incubator to help people who want to be entrepreneurs learn the steps and the processes. I'm proud about that, and just proud about creating a millennial or next generation council of advisors, that we pick people in our community that advise us on how to make the city a place for younger people.
Awesome. Now, how do you plan to address ongoing community concerns and challenges in Fayetteville?
Well, we have to look at the root cause of the challenges. Right now, just like other places in the country, we're dealing with gun violence, and we are looking now as to what we can do to get ahead of the first bullet being fired. That's important to us, and this oftentimes is a result of communities that have been under-resourced, single-parent homes, because of things like mass incarceration. Those kind of things have led a generation of people who raised themselves, and they're finding their avenues that they deal with problems using the street as the place to take care of that. So we want to invest a little bit more heavily in youth mentorship, in some of the proactive steps to help this community make better choices and have better opportunities to be successful. Also, too, we will have to be a little more proactive to dealing with people who choose the other path, to want to create violence in our community. We're not going to tolerate that. But I think that those are some of the challenges. We have a housing shortage, which is a problem of a growing community, but yet still a problem that we don't have enough houses that people can afford to pay either rent or mortgage. So we're working on creating more opportunities to build more housing here in the city.
Awesome. Thank you. In your view, what are the most pressing issues Fayetteville is facing?
In addition to those two things, I think we have to really start to prepare for the future with training our workforce. When COVID came, we have a real service-based economy. We have a military-based economy, but as a result of that, have a lot of people who were in a hospitality, a restaurant, or service-based business that were affected when COVID hit. we all know that the way the world is changing, that technology is going to really change the type of jobs that are available, and making sure that our people are trained so that we can be ahead of the curve is what my priority is. And so I've started meeting with the universities and the community college and the school system, trying to build a pipeline of next generation training so that our people are prepared for artificial intelligence jobs, technology-based jobs, and things in the future.
Awesome. Can you share your vision for economic development in Fayetteville, and how do you plan to attract more businesses and create jobs?
Well, the way I see the city is kind of a blank canvas. We have a lot of communities. Raleigh is probably 45 minutes north of here, and Charlotte is 2.5 hours to the west of here. But we're a community that kind of the full depth and potential hasn't been tapped yet. So I see that we have a lot of advancement available in healthcare. About 40% of our income for our economy is created through healthcare. So we have a real robust healthcare system here. We have a medical school that will be started with the local hospital and one of the universities here to partner to build a medical school. We have defense, natural fit for defense industries because of the closeness to Fort Liberty. Multi-billion-dollar business a year that we think we can have a lot more opportunity to attract defense companies. So I think between defense and healthcare, and also creating the trained workforce for next generation in those two sectors, I think will lead us to success.
Awesome. With the increasing focus on environmental sustainability, what initiatives do you have in mind to make Fayetteville more eco-friendly?
Well, that's an important portion of it. I was there when the climate bill was passed at D.C. I came back and we are redoing our sustainability plan, which is a look forward of maybe the next 10 years to figure out how it is that we make the community more sustainable. So we're redoing that. We had an outdated plan. Also working with the Department of Energy, there are some grants available for our city to change our buses from fuel, which create a lot of emission, to low emission, either natural gas powered or electric buses for our fleet to convert our vehicles over to electric. So we're going to create a 10-year plan of sustainability that will include lowering our emissions and our carbonization.
Okay. How do you plan to engage and involve the community in decision-making process to ensure the diverse voices are heard and represents the city government?
Well, it's very important. It's a partnership between the city and the community. Any elected official has to have community buy-in with anything. And so our job is to make sure that our meetings are able to be attended, whether you're in person or by Zoom or online. We want to create more conversation through town hall meetings. I plan to really start to reach out on some of these challenge areas that we had, as we were talking about with our youth and the gun violence, to our faith community, of all people of all faiths, and some of the leadership in that space to help us create a pathway for that. We want to engage the business community as to how they think we can do business better and make it easier for them to be successful. We also want to engage our young people, and that's what that Fayetteville Next will help us to do, to bring that group of people to it. And we can't leave out our seniors, and they're the wise and the wisdom falls on the seniors of our community, and we've created spaces for them to meet and to talk, and we'll continue to have engagement there about what the city's doing.
Awesome. I remember seeing or coming to one of your speaking engagements. I want to say Mayor, tea with the Mayor?
Yeah, Coffee with the Mayor. Yeah.
Coffee with the Mayor. Can you tell the people about that?
So, once a month, the third Tuesday of every month, I meet citizens down at City Hall, tell them what's going on, hear from them. It's a great time that they give information and feedback back to me and other council members that attend that. And we'll continue to build on that. It's been very successful. People really look forward to having that discussion. Hour and a half discussion every month with the leadership in your city is something that helps us and helps our citizens.
So pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you guys stay tuned into what's going on in the community, because you all do have a voice. A lot of people feel as though they don't.
Well, they have an important voice, and we want them to understand that we do hear your concerns. We get our greatest ideas from the citizens that we talk to.
Education is a critical aspect of community development. What plans do you have to strengthen the education system in Fayetteville?
Well, this one is a little tricky because the city and the city council and the mayor don't really govern the schools, and that's what we think about education. But the areas that we can play a role in are, our adult training and some of the technology, working with our community college to maybe help the adult learner be successful. We have a program through community development where we'll pay people who want to go and further their education and learn a trade. So barber, beauty. Sometimes they don't have the money it takes to enroll or to buy the initial equipment, if you're a barber or beautician, that it takes. And so we have grants for that. We also want to educate our people, our younger people, that after school hours, after you leave the structured environment of a K through 12, that maybe you go to our rec centers, and maybe we continue to strengthen our partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club and other community-based organizations that help bring about better learning habits and study habits, so they'll be more successful in school. So we think that is the key to building a stronger community. A lot of the underserved communities, education is often a equalizer, that a lot of them generationally don't have parents that have the time or the education to help them study and learn about it, and so a lot of times they disengage and they become one of the victims of the system. So we want to make sure that we can intervene in that where we can.
In light of recent events, what measures do you propose to address social and racial justice issues and promote inclusivity and diversity within the city?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have really put a lot of focus on being inclusive and diverse. Of course, with the leadership, and then we make sure that throughout our organization that all genres of people are represented. Whether you are, gay, straight, any of the races and ethnicities, we want to make sure that they have an equal shot, and we're very intentional about that. We're taking diversity and equity inclusion training to make sure that the leadership knows about it, so when we're creating policy, we're sensitive to that. Also, just creating a pathway for success for, as we said before, entrepreneurs and people who do business with us, making it a requirement for people and companies, larger companies, to come in and do business with the city to make sure that they're diverse and inclusive in their policies. So we think that continuing to do those kind of things will help us to do it. Fayetteville's a melting pot. Got people from all over the world, all denominations and backgrounds, and that's what makes us strong. I believe diversity is a strength, not a weakness. So we'll continue to build on that.
As mayor since 2017.
And how have you learned and grown in the role, and what aspect of your leadership style do you believe have contributed to the positive development of Fayetteville?
Well, learned a lot. When I was first elected, we had a natural disaster with hurricanes, and so I had to learn quickly how it is that you show leadership and you think through decisions that are being made, because people are looking at you and depending on you to be the go-to for that. So we had two hurricanes that were brought a lot of national and global attention to the city. And then we had the George Floyd race relations issue, which I had to learn, patience and how to balance decision making. I always pray every day for wisdom. Ask God to give me wisdom in making any decision. And so, those things taught us that, in the toughest of times, that communities need to stick together, and building coalitions within our city with that diversity that we talked about worked in our benefit, versus communities and allowing us, we're almost evenly racially divided here, and allowing a line to be drawn in the sand during that tough time of the George Floyd, was difficult for us. But we found a way to work together, and I think leadership, people look to leadership to be able to do it. And so if there were any tension and dissension, we made sure that was not portrayed. And then social justice is definitely something that's important to me. The governor started a racial equity task force. I was asked to serve on it for over a year, come up with policies that we submitted for change in the city and in the state about policing and how police reform needs to take place, and some of the policies that they have there. The education system needs to be rebooted. There's some inequalities on that side of it. The judicial system needs to be rebooted. And I think that, just being an advocate for change with some of those things has been a positive, and I'll continue to try to do that. But going through the fire was the experience that led me to this point. I mean, I remember I laugh about it, but I told someone I would never go into politics. So again, if you listen, never say what you won't do. You never know what path God has for you. So I never really desired to do it, and when I decided to run and become involved in local government, I wanted to be a council member. I never really aspired to be the mayor, and it kind of something that progressed over time, and I felt the timing was right, and that was my calling, so I followed it.
May I ask, so do you see yourself, did you see yourself being able to withstand the mayor role for so long?
No, I didn't, and that's how I know that, I think, and I refer to this a lot, but I think whatever God calls you to equips you for it. And so all of the components that I think I needed to be able to withstand it, because it comes with a lot. It comes with a lot of scrutiny, it comes with a lot of criticism, but it's a lot of reward to it. But, I think I can only attribute the ability for me to be able to do it for 4 terms to God, and that being the mission that He had for me to do it.
How do you handle the negative comments or negativity?
Well, it's like this. First of all, if anyone that's in the public service, you have to have thick skin. I mean, and so with that being said, I try to always be true to who I am, to make the best decision that I can with the information that's at hand, and you won't please everybody with it. But at the end of the day, as long as I can look myself in the mirror, look at my kids, and look at the people who are in my inner world that I really, really am concerned about, to know that I did the right thing, I'm okay with it. And so only time will be the best judge of whether the decisions you made were right or wrong, but that's just the way it is.
Right. And can you give the audience out, or people that is inspiring to either become mayor or someone of council, some words of wisdom?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. The politics, oftentimes runs people away because of the negative part to it. But at the end of the day, it is a rewarding thing that you will get a lot of positive reward out of for helping people. To be able to see your impact and the things that you do impact someone's lives is fulfilling. So I would say, get involved in your local community, learn as much as you can about how the local government works, what the city does, what the county's responsibilities are, how the state and federal play into that. Make sure that you get a good understanding of how government works, and serve on some volunteer boards and commissions. And then, when the time is right, you identify what space and what role you want to play, and go with confidence and pray about it, and make sure that your family supports it, because at the end of the day, it's not just you being elected, it's your family being elected, because they've got to walk through this process.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you, and thank you for the interview.
Also, can you tell everyone where they can follow you and to stay in contact, and not just contact, but tap in and see what's going on with the community?
Absolutely. So I invite you to the City of Fayetteville's website, fayetteville.nc.org, or you can look for me at mayormitchcolvin.com, Mayor Mitch Colvin on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. And so just continue to be engaged. Look forward to working with you. And Fayetteville is a great place to live, work, and do business.
That's right. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, it's your girl Lizzie Yayo and Mayor Colvin. So you guys, peace. Thank you so much.
All right.